Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me in 52 Weekly Habits. This is going to be my first book review, and it is the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you have read this book, this video is going to be a really good refresher for you. And if you haven't read it, this video is going to be a really good summary on the 6 key themes James Clear covers in Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits is all about the small habits that make a big difference in your life and a huge inspiration to the workbook I wrote, 52 Weekly Habits, that I will be covering right here every week. So make sure to follow and join me if you want to adopt a new simple habit every week that not only brings your life more joy and gets you closer to your goals, but also contributes to your longevity. The first theme I'm going to cover is the power of small changes. Now, while small changes may seem small, over time they have such a significant impact. This is because it's all about the compounding effect, how small actions repeated over time can result in substantial transformation. You've all heard of the domino effect, right? And if you haven't, I have a quick blog on my website, 52weeklyhabits.com, where you can read more about it. But it's all about momentum. So you can think about it like a snowball. You have a small snowball, it's at the top of the hill, it starts to roll down. What happens? It gains momentum, it gains speed, and it gains size. That is the power of small changes. Let's look at another example. Let's say you want to be a better reader. So you could adopt just reading 5 pages per night. That's really little. I'm a terrible reader, and even I could do that. But over 1 year, that adds up to over 1,800 pages. That would be several books. And that is the power of momentum. The key here is consistency. So it's not what you do occasionally, but what you do consistently. So while the journey may feel long, it always begins with that first step. But the real trick here is to keep your focus on the process and not the outcome. So if you miss a day, so what? Just try to continue and start again tomorrow. And the best part is that small changes don't just affect one area of your life. There's actually a ripple effect. So let's say you improve your health, that's going to ripple into so many other areas of your life. It's going to ripple into your productivity, your mental clarity, your well-being. This is what I mean when I say ripple effect. So while the journey may feel long, it all begins with that first step. If you start with just one small change today, watch how your life will be affected and transform over time. Once that transformation begins, that's when you're going to begin to understand the power of momentum from small changes. Theme number 2 is system over goals. What do I mean by that? Well, I would say this is probably one of the most transformative themes of Atomic Habits. The essence of this is that the journey is so much more important than the destination. So let's explore this a little bit more. James Clear introduces us to a mind shift. So we need to change our thinking from being goal focused to process focused. It's not just the goal that matters, but the systems we use to achieve them. I am such a huge believer in this concept. Think about when you've made New Year's resolutions and how hard it's been to achieve them. It's commonly cited that New Year's resolutions are actually ditched by January 17th. James suggests we start thinking more about our goals as the target we want to hit and the systems as the bow and arrow. It's the precision, the technique, the consistency of using that bow that ultimately helps you hit the target. So for example, let's say you have a goal to run a marathon. That's your goal, but what will be your systems? You're going to want to eat better. You're going to want to exercise. You'll have a daily training schedule. That is your system. And it's that system that's going to get you to your goal. I know it's really easy to get fixated on those goals. They're so shiny and exciting, but what happens when you reach them? This is where systems play a crucial role. They're about the long-term game. And for me, at least, the long-term game is longevity with a healthy body and healthy mind. And by focusing on systems, you're setting up habits and routines that will not only help you achieve your current goals, but your long-term goals as well. So now you're wondering, how do I achieve this? Basically, you start breaking your goals down into smaller habits. So if you want to write a book, for example, your system might be writing 500 words per day. Or if you want to get better at drawing, you might decide you want to sketch or draw 30 minutes per day. And it's those small, consistent actions that are going to lead to your big achievements. So remember that achieving a goal is just a momentary gain, but building systems and good habits is building lifelong improvements. So focus on those systems because they're going to get you to a variety of different goals, not just the one you've set up. Next, I'm going to dive into the 4 laws of behavior change. These laws are the cornerstone of breaking bad habits and building good ones. So let's explore how they can transform our daily routines. The first one is to make it obvious. This is all about setting up simple cues. For example, I want to drink more water. I make it more obvious by leaving a cup or water bottle next to my computer. That is going to make it so much more likely that I keep up with my hydration. I'm seeing it right in front of me, so the cue is always there. It's about reducing the chances of forgetting and increasing the chances of acting. The second law of behavior change is to make it attractive. The more appealing an activity is, the more likely you are to do it. So try combining something you need to do with something you want to do. Let's say you're not keen on house chores or exercising, but you have a favorite show you love to watch. Make it a rule to only watch the show when you're exercising or doing house chores. It's a really simple rule to make the less appealing task more attractive. And the third rule is to make it easy. The simpler and more convenient a task is, the more likely you are to stick to it. Take exercising in the morning as an example. It can be really tough to start, so prepare your gym clothes the night before and leave them somewhere visible. This will reduce the frictions and excuses you may have because it's right there. You've made it easy, so you're so much more likely to follow through. And the fourth rule is to make the habit satisfying. We love repeating things that make us feel good. So make sure to give yourself an immediate reward once you've completed the habit. A great way to do this is with a habit tracker. I have free ones that you can download on my website at 52weeklyhabits.com or just search for it online. There are so many different types of habit trackers. Find one that works for you. The way these work is that each time you complete a habit, you mark it off. The visual progress can be really satisfying and it can motivate you to continue. Fourth theme we're going to cover is habit stacking and identity change. This is my favorite topic and a huge influence to everything I'm doing here and on my book, 52 Weekly Habits. These ideas are not just about forming habits, but also who you are through these habits. James Clear introduces habit stacking as introducing a new habit with an existing one. So the most common one that gets used is brushing your teeth. That's an existing habit. So you pair that with a new habit. For example, if your morning routine includes making coffee, you stack a new habit onto it. So let's say after I pour my morning coffee, I write down 3 things I want to accomplish that day. This links a new positive habit onto an existing routine, which is going to increase the chances of it sticking. Now let's take identity change. This is where the magic happens. Your habits reflect and shape your identity. So when you're choosing your habits, you're choosing who you become. This is about shifting the thinking from I want to be someone who blank to I am someone who blank. So let's look at an example. I am someone who writes. Instead, you shift that to I am a writer. This can be really uncomfortable. You'll feel like you're an imposter. Imposter syndrome will come in, but it's a mind shift. And this is where you adopt a new identity. It's about who you become through these habits. So remember, habit stacking is about convenience and consistency, and identity change is about belief and becoming. When you combine these two, you're not just changing what you do, you're changing who you are. The fifth theme I'm going to cover is your environment and the 2-minute rule. This is so fantastic. There's so much power to the environment you put yourself in, and the 2-minute rule is absolutely magical. So first up, let's talk about your environment. Our surroundings have such a powerful influence on our behavior and our mental well-being. James Clear points out that by simply altering your environment, you can make good habits easier to adopt and bad habits harder. For instance, I want to drink more water, so I keep that water bottle next to my desk. It's right there where I can see it. I'm so much more likely to drink it and hydrate myself, which is a good habit, versus if it's not there, I'm much more likely to be dehydrated and not drink it. Or if you're trying to make healthier eating choices, make sure you fill up your fridge with healthy snacks. Then you're way more likely to eat healthy than to snack on things that aren't good for you. Now let's change gears to the 2-minute rule. I absolutely love this one. This rule is such a game changer for starting new habits, and it's super simple. Basically, any new habit you adopt should take you less than 2 minutes to do. The idea here is that you don't want to complete the task in 2 minutes, but you want to take 2 minutes to at least start it, because often the hardest part is just to begin. So let's say you want to develop a new running habit. Well, all you need to do is put on your shoes. That will take you less than 2 minutes to complete. But it's very likely that once your shoes are on, you might go out the door and start running. The beauty of the 2-minute rule is that it reduces the hurdles, making the new habit ridiculously easy to adopt. And so this way you're setting yourself up for success. So think about your environment and how you can tweak it to help you succeed, and remember the 2-minute rule. If a task takes you less than 2 minutes to do, you can do it now, and it reduces the barriers to getting started. Finally, let's talk about one of the most crucial themes in this book, and that is tracking and accountability. This is crucial for transformation. Tracking your habits may seem like a really small action, but it has really big impacts. It's like your roadmap. When you track, you know where you've been, and you know where you're going. It's about making your habits visible and tangible. So using myself as an example, tracking down how much water I drink Gives me a visual cue of how I'm doing and my progress, which is really motivating. There's so many ways of tracking. You can use a journal, there's so many apps or sheets you can download. Like I said, I've got some on my website at 52weeklyhabits.com. All of these will help you track your progress and help keep you motivated. Just make sure you pick a method that's enjoyable and easy for you to commit to. For many people, accountability is their secret weapon. So sharing your habits with someone you can commit with can really increase your chances. So if you've committed to jogging every morning, you could have a jogging buddy that you meet with once a week or daily, and you can both hold each other accountable, which will increase your chances of success. But remember, even if your accountability partner fizzles, you can still continue on. Just use that 2-minute rule to get those shoes on, and you'll likely be out the door for a jog. So there you have it. That's the basic summary of James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. This book is really worth reading. You can do the audio version if you're better with audio, but it's a good journal to keep and a good reminder to use. I wish you so much luck in adopting a healthier life, little steps at a time, and I hope they help you reach your goals. If you like this video, please forward along to someone it may be helpful to, and be sure to follow so together we can adopt weekly habits that contribute to our physical and mental well-being as well as our longevity and help us achieve our goals.